Hey YouTube, I do a lot of presentations and things for work, and sometimes places where I'm at don't always have a display or projector available. So I was able to pick up a Acer Pico Projector so that I could do my presentations when no displays are available. So I thought I'd provide a brief overview of the product and shoot some video of it in action so you can get a sense of how it works. One of the things I like about this as well is that it works with my Roku player, so I can actually use it while I'm camping and have some movie nights outdoors and things like that. So let's jump into it, give you an idea of what this thing is and how it works. So it comes with an HDMI cable, the power cable, and this tip is universal, so you could pop it off, and I'm sure if you're in other regions you would be able to get a local power adapter plug head for it if it didn't ship with it already. Mine came with the US adapter and I just snapped it on. Has the quick start guide as well as the warranty manual, and then it all came packaged up in a fairly sturdy box. As for the projector itself, let's walk through some of the specific features of this projector. So it's fairly small, compact. The user controls are on the top. They're essentially soft buttons, I guess, if you will. You have your mode control, which controls screen brightness and volume, audio outputs. Once it's powered, the unit's powered up, you can actually black the screen through a button down here. Then you've got volume up and volume down. Down here you've got two LED lights that indicate status. On the back of the unit there's an audio line in. That's not an audio out, which is a little bit odd. I would have expected that to be an audio out. I'm actually a little disappointed because there is no audio out line on this. You know, I've got to go and explore my options to see how I can use this with external powered speakers. You have your HDMI input, and here is a USB output. The power AC/DC power connector, and then the power on/off button. Now this does have a battery in it as well, so it works without AC or DC power. So you know, the battery essentially is your DC power. Then it's got, on each side there are 2-watt speakers, one on each side. On the front you've got your LED lamp and then a focus wheel. And then on the bottom you've got a little foot stand that can be extended out. It's a little hard to get to if you don't have fingernails. And then there's a threaded mount so that you could put it on a small tripod or something like that. So that's kind of an overview of the projector features and functionality. As you can see, it does work without power being hooked up. Now this is the C205 model, and it's rated, I believe, at 200 lumens. I incorrectly state a little bit later on in the video that it's 220 lumens. That's wrong. I believe it's actually 200 lumens. So I apologize for that error. But overall, it's a fairly compact, portable projector. It can drive a very, very large screen, as you'll see in some of the videos later on that I show here. I think the minimum range is around 2 feet is what it says. And then the maximum range, I'm not sure what the maximum range is. I had it about 7 to 8 feet away on some of the videos, and I was getting at right about 90 inches away from the screen. It was about a 92, 93 inch size screen diagonally. So it was fairly large, and the picture was still very, very bright. So, you know, overall, it's a pretty decent little projector. I'm eager to give it a shot while I'm camping in the next few weeks to see how it does in an outdoor environment. I will say that the speakers, they're okay. It's not great sound. I mean, you know, from a tiny little speaker, you're not going to get great sound anyway. So that's why I was hoping there would be a line out for the audio so you could hook it up to some powered speakers and get a little bit more robust audio performance out of it. Maybe there's a way to leverage that USB port. I'll have to check that out and see if that's an option. I've only had this thing about a week or so, so I haven't had a whole lot of time with it. But you know, it does throw a really good picture, especially if you're in a dark room. You'll see that in the later part of this video. I did tests from about 3 feet away, I think it was about 6 feet away, and about 7, 8 feet away, something like that. And you know, I got some really good picture sizes. In retrospect, I should have kept the camera stationary so that you could see the screen size as I moved further and further back. Instead, I actually, you know, shot the video from the perspective of the projector. So as I move the projector back, I move the camera back. So proportionally, you don't see a whole lot of difference until I actually turn on the lights, and then you can kind of start to see how big the screen is able to get. So, you know, my apologies for that, but it is a pretty decent little projector. So let me, you know, jump into the part of the video where I power this thing up and show some content to give you a sense of how bright the screens are and the images are as it's projecting. So to show you some of the settings, there aren't many options to choose from. So you've got your brightness, and that allows you to go into like various modes, eco mode, and I guess, you know, quarter brightness, and then full brightness. And then the audio settings. Which, you know, personally I don't think it really does much. And then you've got where you can actually black the screen and then turn it back on. So that's you know, pretty much your only choices. There are no keystone things if your image is, you know, distorted or anything like that. And then you've got the focus wheel, which I believe I showed you, but let's do it again just so you can see it. Taking it out of focus, into focus, to allow you to get different sort of ranges and such. So that's pretty much your, you know, menu options. So this is about 33 inches away from the screen, and I'm getting about a 36-inch screen. So I'm just shy of 3 feet away, and I'm getting about a 3-foot diagonal screen. So now we're about 73 inches away, and we're getting about a 76-inch screen. You can see that, you know, we do lose some brightness. The brightness, the further back you get, obviously the you know, your brightness is going to drop some, but it's still a really nice picture. You know, certainly good enough for, you know, movie night, or, you know, if you're doing large presentations or something like that. So fairly decent. And here we are about 90 inches back from the screen, and I think we're getting roughly a 92, 93 inch size diagonal screen. Again, you know, you can see the brightness dropping a little bit, but it's still a very good picture. So overall, not a bad little projector at 220 lumens is what it's rated at. I don't have a light meter to verify, but so I'm just going to have to trust the specs on that. But not bad. I think my only real complaint about this projector so far is the line out, which I discussed earlier. So if it had that, I could hook up some decent speakers and get some better sound. I'll turn up the volume here.
So it doesn't sound like a jet engine taking off or anything like that. It's not obnoxious like that.
So that's the volume all the way
and,
up.
so it won't keep you awake at night or anything. And it moves.
Camera is about
now,
2 feet from
version.
the
So what's really cool about that is
Pico Projector.
there's a moisture sensor that if it starts to rain, it'll automatically
These are 2-watt speakers.
And shut off the fan.
I believe it's mono only, so I don't think it's stereo.
For example, you don't come back to wet and soggy blankets or mattress or anything like that, or if it's in the middle of the night, it'll automatically start closing.
So there you have it. So now I turn some lights on in the room, and you can see I still got a fairly decent picture with the lights on. So even if you don't have a completely dark room, you still get a fairly decent image on the screen. It would be fine for presentations. I don't know that I'd want to watch movies or anything with this much light in the room, but it's still okay if you're not in a completely dark environment. Okay, to wrap this up, I think overall this is a decent little Pico projector. At roughly $260 or so is what I paid for it. It does a pretty good job. The images are fairly bright, even as you drive a 100-inch screen. The biggest drawbacks I think I found with this particular Pico projector was, one, the control buttons don't light up, so they can be a little hard to find in the dark if you're trying to change a setting. The fact that it doesn't have a line out for the audio is a little disappointing, because it would be nice to be able to hook it up to some external powered speakers. The 2-watt speakers do a fairly decent job, in a quiet environment, even though they're 2-watt speakers, right? They're very small, they're very tinny or something like that. So you're not going to get very robust audio if you're doing movie night or something like that. So that's why it'd be nice to have external powered speakers. But for presentations and things like that, works great. Even in a somewhat lit room, you can still drive a decent screen. As you saw in the video, I was using a cream colored sheet sort of tacked up against the wall to give you an idea of the performance. So if I had a true projector screen or even a white sheet, it would probably pop a little bit more. I think the sheet probably saturated the color a little bit, but overall, decent little projector. So there you go. If you got any questions, please leave a comment in the section below. I'll try and answer those as best I can, and go visit my blog for any additional information.